Now, why would I start with Abraham rather than some other clever dude, you know? The reason I'm starting with Abraham is because he was the guy who kicked the whole Judeo-Christian Islamic thing off. He was like the founding father of the whole shebang. Now, we don't know a great deal about Abraham, but I probably know just a little bit more about him than maybe you do. Now, Abraham's father was a creator of idols. Now, I'm not sure which gods these idols represented, but probably things like Baal, who was the, he was a big deal back in those days, and he was represented by a calf. I'll tell. We'll go into that when we start talking about Moses and the golden calf. But yeah, so he would have made, I don't know, maybe he made idols of the Persian god Mithras, all sorts. And Abraham, somehow or other, he got it into his head that all this was nonsense, all these multiple gods. So he smashed all his father's homemade idols. Probably the father was highly pissed off, but Abraham went ahead and did it. And somehow or other, he'd got it into his head that there was just one God, a mono-God. Now, he wasn't original. There were the Zoroastrians who worshipped one God. So it's possible that Abraham got the idea of the one God from the Zoroastrians, which was another Persian religion. And it's still going to this day, as a matter of fact. There are still thousands of Zoroastrians. Now, Abraham, well, actually, he was actually born. I was going to say christened. That's a bit of a reach, a bit of a stretch. He was given the name Abram, not Abraham, Abram. And I'm not sure the date or anything like that, but he married a woman called Sarah, not Sarah, Sarah. She became Sarah later on. But Sarah was barren. I'm sure you know what that means, but for the benefit of the one or two who might not, it means she was unable to bear children. So this was a real big problem because, you had to have a son to leave all your wealth to and carry on the family tradition. So now the Bible tells us, I don't believe it, but the Bible tells us that Sarah gave Abraham permission to go in unto their slave girl. They had a slave girl called Hagar. That's right, Hagar. Now, actually, the Bible doesn't call her a slave girl. The Bible calls her a bondwoman. Well, what's a bondwoman? It's a girl who's been sold by her father into slavery. So Abraham rapes his slave girl, and as a result, the girl produces a boy called Ishmael. Now, as it happens, we'll go into this later on, but Ishmael becomes the founder of the Arabic religions, as we know them, Islamic religions.